All right. This book, New Shoes by Susan Lynn Meyer, illustrated by Eric Velasquez, is going to be a historical fiction book. Remember that historical fiction is different than realistic fiction because of the what? Do you remember? That's the pictures, because of the setting. Remember, so this is when this happens. This book is going to happen in the 1950s, which was different than today, right? And this is a time when segregation was still happening, right? So they use some vocabulary in here. The girl is going to say it's the colored section. So in the 1950s, colored was used instead of black or African American. Over time, the words changed. But you'll see that as one of the things in the story that you might be like, colored, what's that? So now you know. So in the 1950s, there was a lot of things that were segregated. So that means there were bathrooms. White people and black people had to go to different bathrooms, to different restaurants. If you went to a store, then you were treated differently. If you went to a restaurant, you might not be served. If you went on a bus, then you had to sit at the back of the bus. Okay, so all of these things were happening. And Ella May is our main character in this story, and she is going to have a problem. I'm going to have you predict what maybe you think might be the problem by looking at the illustration on this page. What do you think might be the problem? Thinking about the title of New Shoes, thinking about what we know about segregation, about okay. Maybe she's not going to be allowed to buy shoes at this store. Yes. Okay. So she is going to have a problem, and you are going to listen for the problem and how she and her friends decide to solve that problem. New shoes. My cousin Charlotte hands me the package as soon as we stand. My cousin Charlotte hands me the package as we stand outside Johnson's Shoes. If you could have any shoes in the window, I ask, which ones would you choose? Those, Charlotte says, pointing to the red sandals. What about you, Ella May? Today, I choose saddle shoes. They'd be just right for back to school. But I know full well it's just wishing. Money's too tight for new shoes. When I get home, Mama opens the package. Winslow's shoes are in good shape, she says. She hands them to my brother Clayton. That's the way we always hand them now. Winslow's shoes go to Clayton, Charlotte's go to me. I clean Charlotte's old shoes, but when I put them on, they pinch my toes. I show Mama. Mama sighs. We'll just have to scrape enough money together for new shoes. Shoes I pick out myself. I can't believe it. On Saturday, we're going to Johnson's. On Saturday morning, when we walk in, the bell jingles. Mr. Johnson looks our way. Behind us, the door jingles again. A girl with yellow curls walks in with her daddy. Mr. Johnson heads towards them. Can we infer her feelings? Mama and I walk to the back of the store and stand against the wall. The blonde-haired girl tries on shoes, posing in front of the mirror. I sigh. Weren't we here first? But I know colored people always have to wait. Finally, the girl's daddy buys her a new pair of shoes, and they leave. How can I help you now? Mr. Johnson says to us. I point to a display of saddle shoes. I want to try those on, sir, I say. I hear Mama suck in her breath. Oh, well, we'll do something different, Ella May, she says. We'll make a picture of your feet for Mr. Johnson. But, I start to say, pencil and paper are over there, gal, Mr. Johnson says to Mama. Can you kind of see how Mama and the daughter are a little bit different? Mama traces my feet. Mr. Johnson takes the paper and comes back with the shoebox. Mama holds the shoes next to me. Mr. Johnson fidgets. Yes, I think these will fit, Mama says, and she counts our money. See her expression? Rain is pouring down when we leave. Mama snaps open her umbrella. Mama, I say, can't colored folks try on shoes? Mama sighs. No. But then she puts on a smile. Let's think about how nice your feet will look for school. I like my shoes, but it isn't fair that the other girl can try them on and I can't. Mama and I walk on together, listening to the rain. The next day in the schoolyard, I show Charlotte my shoes, but then I tell about what happened at Johnson's. Charlotte nods. That happened to me too, she whispers. Even though I have new shoes, I feel bad most of the day. But then during spelling, I have an idea. I tell Charlotte as we walk home. Yes, she says, I will help. Anybody predict what their idea might be, how she's going to change it?
The girl says enough money for she can buy the same shoe.
Okay, we'll see. So Charlotte and I do chores, maybe for money. We scrub, we pick the last green beans, we mind the babies. Most folks say they can't pay much. Never mind, I say, we'll work for a nickel and a pair of outgrown shoes. At the end of the month, we line up the shoes on empty shelves in the old barn next to our house. Charlotte scoops up the coins. I'll go buy the polish, she says. Do you see what they're doing? While she is gone, I clean the shoes with soft rags. Then I pull out all of the dirty shoelaces. I wash them in lots of soapy water until water squeezes off them clean. I hang the laces on the clothesline to dry in the sun. Charlotte comes running back. I call red, she says. She uses a nickel to pry open the red tin, and I open the black. I take a pair of shoes and rub the polish in. Then I scrunch up my hand inside, smoothing out all the wrinkles, and buff the shoes until they shine. The sun has dried the laces now. I thread them back through the holes. Charlotte holds up the shiny red Mary Jane she has been buffing. Almost as good as new, she says proudly. So you see the sign? Not sure if you guys can see it back there. It says Ella May and Charlotte's shoes. Price 10 cents and another used pair. The neighbors know we are ready even before the paint on our sign is dry. Ella May and Charlotte's shoes, it says. Price 10 cents and another used pair. Mrs. Douglas peeps in the barn door, holding little Laura's hand. Right behind them, I see more neighbors coming. Do you think her idea is a pretty popular one? Look at this, Mrs. Douglas marvels. No need to go to Johnson's now. Then she hesitates. Last time, the shoes from Johnson's gave my Laura blisters, she says. Can we try these ones on to see which fit best? Charlotte and I smile. we hold our heads up proud. Yes, ma'am, she can, I say loud and clear. In our store, anyone who walks in the door can try on all the shoes they want. So they had a problem, right? Ella May had a problem. What was the problem? She couldn't try on shoes. For those people who just joined us, Ella May this story happens in the 1950s. Ella May is this girl here. Okay, she can't try on the shoes because in this time they said colored people couldn't try on shoes in a shoe store. Okay, so that was her problem. She really wants to try on shoes and she can't. So her mom draws her a picture of her foot on a piece of paper, and they choose shoes based on that picture. How does she solve that problem?
She gets those shoes and she gets money so she could go buy polish and put her own shoes.
Yeah, she works really hard, buys some shoe polish, gets some old shoes, cleans them up, and opens her new store where anybody can try on shoes. Okay, so we are very lucky now that people like Ella May did those types of things for us. She stood up for what was right, and she was trying to make a change. Did you see the contrast in her mom? Her mom was like, oh, we don't do that. And Ella May was like, well, why not?